My name is Kurua Kimani. I'm a member of Parliament for the Great People of Molo constituency in Nakuru County, and I'm also the chairperson of the Departmental Committee of Finance National Planning. Over the last few days and few weeks, we've had a very robust conversation about the Finance Bill of 2024, and there has been a lot of misinformation, and I'd like to put a few things into perspective. Some people are asking, what is a finance bill and why is it important? The finance bill has not been a creation of Kenya Kwanza administration, or it has not started this year. This bill has been in existence since the start of 2010 constitution, and it's part of our annual budget process. So the money that you see appropriated and spent across government institutions, by police, by defense, on roads, on hospitals, the 401 billion schedule that's going to counties, all that budget process is on the expenditure side. So then the finance bill is on the revenue side. So what the finance bill seeks to do is provide resources for the budget. And some Kenyans are saying then, if finance bill hatutaki, we should just do away with it. The consequence of doing away with the bill and saying rejecting the bill, the whole bill as it is, would put a constitutional halt to the budget process. That would mean that as at 1st of July, there will not be any budget for any government department or any state department for the whole country. And that would mean we'll bring to the country to a standstill. This is what in other democracies they call the close of government, and therefore the finance bill therefore becomes a very, very crucial process in the budget cycle, because it provides resources for the budget. In the absence of passing this, not just passing it, but within the constitutional late period, that would mean that the government will close, like literally close. Then the proposals contained herein, I think the conversation became very robust starting from last year. And so because as a Committee of Finance and National Planning, we made a deliberate decision that any decision affecting the members of the public, we try to make the public as much aware as possible. So the reason why you are more aware about this is because we have also been very deliberate in making sure that let's have a conversation around how we govern our budget and how our money is not just how it's spent, but also how it is raised. We've received, this is the 3 of public participation, and you've received very, very many views on very many clauses. The bill contains 65 clauses, and I would like really to demystify. The bill is not just about motor tax or bread. It has so many other proposals across eco levy, across even making sure that the disposable income, especially employed people, is reduced by making some of these statutory deductions allowable to payee. There's a lot of targeting expansion of the tax base, because one of the reasons why we have a problem is because we have 20% of Kenyans paying money for financing 80% of the budget. And so it's very important that you have a conversation about each of those clauses. So again, I repeat, it's part of a constitutional process, which we must, if we do not, then that means that government will have to close. But then it doesn't mean that it has to pass as it is. And that is why and I repeated several times, that public participation is not an exercise in futility. These are proposals by the National Treasury, which we are considering, and will make the best decision for the Republic of Kenya. So those clauses that are contentious, we have 3 options. We could delete them, we could amend them, or we could approve them as they are. And we are considering all those views not holistically as a bill. The bill would be passed each clause by each clause. And I think it's important. You see, for all these provisions, if you go to, this is clause 1 of the bill, clause 2, all the way to the end. They are specific, line by line. The same thing we have on the budget books, where it is where every expense is voted by line. This is for secondary education, this is for primary education, this is for tertiary education, the same thing that this is by line. So the consideration that's being done is clause by clause of this bill, and the decision to be made will be clause by clause, not necessarily on the entirety of the bill.
Maybe last question.
According to the PFM Act, that is a Public Finance Management Act, and according to the Constitution of Kenya, Kenya has to prepare a budget every year. So you cannot say that you use a budget you had last year in this new year, because we adopt what's called zero-based budget, where at the beginning of every financial year, and this is what happens in democracies across the world, you start with the budget and say, what are our priorities? This year, how much are we spending on salaries? How much are you spending on roads? How much are you spending on hospitals? How much is going to counties? How much are you spending on these particular programs? And now, as that process of now coming up with a budget is taking place, at the same time now, the conversation about how to finance that budget is taking place simultaneously, so that at the end of the before 1st of July, then there are two pieces of law. The first is the appropriations law, or the appropriations bill to become the appropriations law, which now votes money for each expense, and two, now the finance bill into a finance act that allocates resources to those particular votes. So as you have the budget on this side is, and the same way we pass a budget every year. We'll be looking forward to, I think, the next week or the week after next, where if Kenyans remember the old days, and even now it happened, where the cabinet secretary for national treasury will come to parliament with a budget and say, this is a budget for this year. So at the same time, when he says this is a budget, then he also says this is where we're going to get this money to finance this particular budget. So the same way, what called the famous budget speech happens every year is exactly the same way now the finance should happen simultaneously, so that it provides now resources for the budget that will be read by the cabinet secretary, but most importantly, that is processed by the Budget and Appropriations Committee.